Traditions and customs are national treasure. Kazakh people observe traditions over many centuries. The great steppe is an amulet of the country. You can watch the customs and traditions of the Kazakhs in the Modern Nomads program. Today, the hero of our program is Joly Turdigulov. He is a craftsman who mastered well to make Kazakh musical instruments as the dombra and kobuz. He is well known among his colleagues, as he has his own signature in art and he makes the dombra instrument in a singular way. There's a saying as, craftsmen can help to make everything. In ancient times and currently Kazakh singers, cue players are dependent from great craftsmen which made dombra instruments. The connection is not visible between craftsmen and art people, but there are mysterious relations among each other. If the dombra will be played well enough, a singer and craftsman will receive pleasure from the result of the work. Every art comes from our ancestor. Joly's ancestors also mastered crafts and art. Currently, he has his own workshop, and he has lots of students.
Мысалы, мен нағашым жағынан шеберлік мықты болды. Бірақ арғы өз әкем, оның әкесі Мұстафа марқұм, менің әкем Әбілғазы марқұм.
For example, my grandfather, Bayezjuma, from my mother's side, was one of the great craftsmen, and my father's father, Mustafa, and my father, Abulgazi, were not masters of art. But my father was a wrestler and musician. Bayezjuma, grandfather, was a simple peasant, but he was a brave warrior and kamshi weaver. He was able to make a dombra, and different things were created by him as well. At the end of the 18th century, he was arrested and was exiled to Siberia. After he took his freedom, he went through the forest of the village and he made a toy of a deer. Currently, ortike is a wooden toy in the form of an animal, mostly a baby goat, suspended on threads. A dombra player would tie threads to his fingers and play twitching the threads at the same time. My grandson is growing up. We gave him the name Murager. I have another dream. If he has an aspiration and talent, I will teach him handicraft.
Бойында талап бар болса, жаңа қасиет бар болса, сол немереме үйрету.
In ancient time, craftsmen did not work at the workshop or in a village as one group. Especially, there were a few craftsmen who were able to make a musical instrument. That's why singers, cue players, made their own instruments as they knew their voice and talent skills. We are able to see in Yeklas National Music Museum at heritage instruments of Birjan Sal, Abay, Kurmangazi, Dina, Suinbai, and Jambul. Birjan Sal's dombra was long-necked. The musician made it with his height. Abay played the three-string dombra instrument. It shows singularity of the musician who is able to make an instrument.
Көп сал серілер өздері жасап алған. Біріншіден оның себебі өзінің дауысына, өзінің мүмкіндігіне, қолының ұзындығына, тұрқының үлкендігіне қарап жасап алған ғой. Бұл бір. Екіншіден,
the Sal Seri, who is a representative of the oral poetry tradition and cultural memory owners. In the Kazakh language, Sal Seris are perceived as persons who are recitative, entertaining, chatty, and people with extraordinary means of dressing. They also could make their own dombra instrument for their voice to the length of their arms. Secondly, in those times, there is not able to find a master who could make an instrument. The master could live far away, or there were few craftsmen who could make musical instruments, while there were many jewelers and craftsmen who worked with wood. Consequently, first of all, you should play the dombra before you make a musical instrument. Your ears should have the ability to receive the sound. Therefore, there were a few craftsmen who were able to make an instrument. For example, I heard there lived one craftsman, Bisingaliev, in Balshi, place of Atrao. He heard that in our childhood there was a young craftsman, Musa Adilov, who was growing up in Almaty. And we also heard about Romanenko and Kamar Kasimov, who used to be famous for making dombras. Each of them had their own approach.
Bir азамат бар екен. Romanenko деген еститіміз. Kamar Kasım'ды misal кейіннен бертін келе естідік. O zamanda o kişi tіпті дәріптелмеген екен, көрдіңіз бе?
Owing to our tradition to the handicraft, we achieved a great result today. The tradition of Kazakh nomadic lifestyle was to teach art on the children's age difference. When a child reached a certain age, they were taught jewelry to work with wood and iron. They were called as master or craftsmen from the day when they created some arts. The respect for the master was outstanding. This art has its own stages and secrets. Since his childhood, Joly Turdigulov held a knife and an axe. He made his first dombra in the army. His friend, Kazakh Khan, who was a dombra player, a singer, influenced him to make the instrument.
Содан кейін мен енді кішкене аздап, кішкентай кезімнен қолымнан пышақ ұстап, кішкентай кезімнен балта шауып, кішкентай кезімнен өрім өріп, тіпті қайыс болмаған күннің өзінде де шөптің сақалын алып өріп, сөйтіп өскенбіз. Не болмаса талды жонып жіберіп, соның қабығынан өретіміз. Сондай сөйтіп өскен баламыз ғой, ауылдың баласы, малшының баласымыз. Содан кейін есіме түсті, жарайды.
Since a young age, I held a knife to my hand, chopped with an axe, and created different things, where we could weave and work with wood. We grew up in the village and we shepherded as well. One day my friend offered me to make a dombra. I had never made it before. He was happy and told me as he knows the instrument and could put 2 strings as well. My friend explained to me as he knows the dombra. The sound of the dombra is clear and frets bounded very well. Every detail of the dombra was under the control of my friend.
Bir ay degende Құдай-ау өлдім талдым дегенде жаңа бір домбыра жасап шығардық. Кішкентай ғана шанақты қозы құйрық домбыра.
I chopped the wood and worked with a knife. We made it in 1 month this dombra instrument. The dombra was small with a short neck.
Шегін тақты, сонымен алғаш домбыраны сөйлеткенде, ол сондағы біздің қуанғанымызды көрсек. Ол енді сол күні бұл мейрам.
Then we added frets and 2 strings. If you saw our happiness when we played the instrument. That day was a holiday for us and an unforgettable day. There was no celebration there. As our dombra was created in the Far East, we proudly say, as we opened our first dombra presentation there. It was an interesting time.
Домбыра пайда болып, соны сол жерде презентациясын аштық деген сөз. Сондай қызық болды.
It is one great art to make a dombra instrument. First of all, craftsmen should have a love and interest to their work, and craftsmen should know the wood that he's going to use to make a dombra. If a craftsman doesn't understand the dombra and how the sounds work, and is not able to play on the dombra, then he will not make the right dombra instrument. It doesn't mean that the craftsman should be well, as he should understand the sound of the dombra and play on it, and should know the wood that he will make the dombra with. It requires knowledge. Why did cue players and singers make dombras by themselves? Because they can make their own preferable ones. That's why craftsmen should play on the dombra. Joly Turdigulov appreciated craftsmen's interest to the art and love of their professional skills.
Бізге келетін студенттер көбінде олар біліп келеді. Қолы өнер сімерлігі бар, жаңағы осы көркем дүниелер жасаған ыңғайы бар, сондай азаматтар келеді көбінде. Енді ал бірақ музыка.
Most of the students who come to us know this art. They have talent, ability to create beautiful things, but few of them will be able to make musical instruments. They will work with ornamental applied arts in the future. A craftsman who makes musical instruments will be among them. I've been teaching for 25 years, and approximately 30 masters who make musical instruments were taught by me. The number of the best masters is 10, another 20 also continue making musical instruments in their own direction. My request for them is they should be a master who can play on the dombra instrument. Therefore, I invited a teacher who taught them to play the dombra. I paid money to a music teacher to teach them to play on the instrument. When students were able to play on the dombra, they will know the structure of the instrument. Consequently, their ability to create an instrument will be increased.
Арнайы маман шақырам, дайындым. Өз алып қалтамнан ақша төлеп, оларды үйретем жаңағы. Домбыра тартуға үйретем. Оны қыр-сырына үйретем. Сонан кейін барып, ол жаңағы домбырашылық, сонан кейін шеберлік екеуін қатар алып жүргеннен кейін оның шеберлігі өседі.
If we will talk about material of the instrument, it is made of the local woods. A real craftsman can make a good dombra. The front of the dombra made from the pine, the quality acoustic sounds are from the high tree. You can use different trees, and they should not be soft. For example, trees as maple, birch, red birch, and poplar were used. It all depends on the shape. How will it be closed also is very important. The dombra instrument is divided as the singer's dombra, cue players, and dombra of the west and east. Dombra can be made for each musician. The quality of the dombra depends not only on the wood but also the craftsman who makes the dombra instrument.
Біздің мықты шеберлеріміз кешегі Қамар Қасым Романенколар, солардың көптеген домбырларының барлығы да жаңағы бұйрағайың. Дыбысты жақсы беретін ағаш. Мен сол бұйрағайыңды пайдаланам. Сонан кейін аздап.
One of our best dombra masters are Kamar Kasim and Romanenko dombra instruments that were made from the birch tree. This tree gives a good sound to the instrument. I also use mulberry tree and walnut tree. They're decorative and exotic trees. If you create a dombra from these trees, you'll find a combination with the sounds as well. Then the maple tree. Local maple trees can also be used, but we need curly maple trees. Our traditional songs and cue compositions sounds well on the dombra instrument, which was made of partridge wood. We noticed it from a lot of experiments during our works. A lot of dombra instruments were created from partridge wood. The timbre of the instrument, which was made from partridge wood, is close to the dombra that was made from the birch tree. I used different types of wood. The most expensive dombra is made from the ebony black wood. Our ancestors did not use this ebony tree to make a dombra instrument, as ebony wood delivered to us from abroad, and they are very expensive.
Мен соның соң бірнеше түрін пайдаланам. Соның ең қымбат домбыралар әрине ол ebony ағашынан жасалады. Қазір бұрын енді ол біздің қазақтарымыз, ата-бабаларымыз ондай ағаштарды пайдаланбаған, олар шетелден келетін ағаштар. Ол енді дыбысқа да жақсы, бірақ өте қымбат.
It requires to have abilities in mathematics and geometry despite talent of making a musical instrument. The dombra should be created a rectangular or oval body and covered by a wooden soundboard with a long, slender neck. It is usually unfretted, although modern versions of the instrument have added frets set at chromatic intervals. Dombra is strung by a single gut or nylon string which passes from a wooden tuning peg at the end of the neck, looped around a pin at the base of the body, and up to the second peg to make two tunable strings. All sounds can be heard. A middle sound with a main sound gives one sound. There is not any difference among them. It is singular and clean. You can control low and high sounds of the instrument. In ancient times, Kazakhs made the dombra from whole wood. In early days, Kazakhs made dombras through cutting it off. The head and neck were cut off from the whole wood. Nowadays, if you look at modern musical instruments, you can notice that the cover is made from pine tree. Our ancestors knew this ages ago. Dombra is a legendary instrument, the structure of a simple instrument's significance on different sounds. That's why it's divided into cue dombra and song dombra instrument. They were their own regional singularity of national heritage. The craftsmen should make a dombra well to achieve a good sound of this instrument, as it is a great responsibility for them. Ahmed Zhubanov said about the dombra, more freely and more widely than other Kazakh steppe instruments, the silver voice of the dombra is the unpretentious companion of nomads. Its strings store musical wisdom of centuries. For it, the anonymous steppe composers who had not known the notes created the immortal pieces of music, embodying in them alive the life of their people.
Жолаушының домбырасы десе, олар ішінде серпес жоқ домбыра деп түсінеді. Алғашқы кезде бұлар үрке қараған рас, домбыраның бел ағашы жоқ.
Internal armbar is a new part designed by Soviet craftsmen like in a violin. It was not used in the past in the dombra production. Dombra has the armbar sized from 250 millimeters to 300 millimeters. I do not use it in my dombra. At the beginning, other masters were astonished as I did not use an internal arm bar in my instrument. I made a lot of research works. For example, I learned a lot of things from the Russian craftsman Alexei Pershin. I did not have a teacher who taught me to make the dombra right. Then I was able to open the surface of the many instruments, to repair them and to restructure them all the time, even when I worked as a dombra player in the orchestra. Everything comes through hard work. Why does such a sound come through the tree? Why is the sound coming through the two strings? The craftsman definitely achieves the result owing to his hard work.
Қалай дыбыс анаған беріледі? Тиек арқылы, шек арқылы мысалы. Ол қалай үнші, соның бәрін ойлап жұмыс істейтін болса, ол міндетті түрде ол бір нәрсе табады ол.
Alexei Vasilyevich Zatayevich published a book, 1,000 Songs of the Kazakh People. He wrote at the first page the following sentences. You will be amazed with the sound of the dombra when a musician plays the instrument. This is a real appraisal that was given to the legendary instrument. Kazakhs appreciate the dombra very highly. The tradition is also connected with the instrument. Betashar, the ceremony of opening the bride's face, is accompaniment with the dombra, and the dombra was given as a gift for talented people. News about the death was delivered through the cue composition. Dombra gave a spirit to the warriors during the battles. Kazakhs highly appreciated the dombra musical instrument.
Бізге шейінгі жаңағы бала домбыралары, жаңағы чинкілдек деп атаған балаларға арналған домбыра болған баяғы заманда. Қазір оны оркестрлерге қосып жүр ғой, шинкілдек деп. Ол бала домбыра.
There was Shinkildik dombra for children since ancient times. Currently we added it to the orchestra. A dombra master, Baltabai Kabilanov, made 12 different classifications of this dombra. He made a one-stringed of the dombra and worked hard. Kayrbek and I counted all details of the length of the body in this dombra instrument. Therefore, a dombra with a 38-centimeter neck can be played by a 5-year-old. What does 38 centimeters indicate? It involves till, re, note. This is the size of the dombra neck. The neck of the dombra should be from 40 centimeters for 6 to 7-year-old children. The dombra of children aged 7 to 8 to 9 is 42 centimeters. At the age of 12, children are able to play dombras for teenagers with 44 centimeters till age 15. Even adults can play on it, as the shape of this dombra is very comfortable for playing. The singers play their compositions on this dombra often. When children turn 15 to 17, they can play the longest one, which is 46 centimeters. Some children start to play it at the age of 12.
Жаңа 44-тіңіз 15-ке шейін ойнай береді кейбіреулер. 44-ті кейде біздер де ойнай береміз. Өте ыңғайлы бір форма. Өте ыңғайлы размер, екі ортадағы. Өте көп пайдаланатын жаңағы размер осы 44-ші размер. Сонан кейін жаңағы жасөспірімдер 46-ші размер. Ол енді 15-17 жас. 12 жастан бастап ала береді кейбіреулер.
Nowadays, there are many masters who make national musical instruments. However, there are few who know the history of the instruments, its shapes and size characteristics, and who make them following the old tradition and even keeping the meaning of the drawings painted on it. One of such rare masters is Joly Turdigulov. He shares his talent and signature with his students.
Әркімнің өзінің бір айтпайтын бір құпиясы болады енді. Онда енді құпиялар бар. Ол енді кейін.
Every person has his own secret. I have my own secrets. Probably I will leave it to my son later. But all main secrets of making the dombra I showed and taught to my students. Now they have to work hard and make their own research works to find other secrets of the dombra instrument. Every master should have their own secret while making a dombra. I believe that the real master is not only skilled in working with the wood, but he should also have high musical ability. When you have both of them, you will be able to choose the speaking tree of wood. Then you will search how to make the sounds from the wood. I believe my students will achieve their own signature in the art of making musical instruments. They can receive a great result as well.
Өздерінің жолы болу керек, өздерінің құпиясы болу керек, өздерінің жаңадан ашқан жаңалығы болу керек. Мүмкін біз жетпеген нәрселерге олар жетеді. Біздің мен армандап кеткен нәрсені мүмкін мен жете алмай қалуым мүмкін, олар жетуі мүмкін.
Kazakh dombra is closely connected to the nation. This Saint Dombra saves inside it the whole history and sadness of our nation. Beautiful songs of poets and playful cues show the history of the Dombra is very rich. Dombra is the beginning of spiritual revival, what was written by our president. It is a national school's masterpiece to create this heritage instrument. A nation who appreciates national heritage will live eternally.